Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a simple fireworks display. We're going to make this from scratch. We're not using any store-bought assets. The first couple minutes you can skip if you're using HDRP or URP because those come with a built-in post-processing. You don't have to worry about the post-processing step that I'm about to show you. I just want to include this for the people who have a standard 3D project. So that's when you create a new project and you just choose the one that says 3D as opposed to HDRP or URP. So again, if you're using any of those latter two, you can skip to about, I don't know, maybe it's the 2-ish minute mark, you'll see. Okay, so let's do post-processing. I'm not going to do a full install. I don't want to waste your time. I'm just going to show you the basics. So Window, Package Manager, Unity Registry, and then post-processing. So you're going to click on install down there. It looks like this is a newer version, but that's fine. I don't need it for this particular demonstration. You'll just click on install. So once it's installed, there's going to be a couple settings and a couple components that you're going to have to set up on your main camera for this to work. So first of all, you need to create a layer up here for your post-processing. So I just called it PPL. So you just click on add layer, then you add it, and then you set it. And then once you've done that, you're going to want to add two post-processing components. These will not be available until you've installed the post-processing package. So you click on Add Component, you click on Rendering, and then you would choose Post-Processing Layer and then Post-Processing Volume. So for post-processing layer, all you do here is the layer that you choose here is the one that you set here. So layer, I chose PPL, so I have to again choose PPL here. That's really all you need to do for post-processing for the post-processing layer component, I should say, for this particular tutorial. The second one, post-processing volume, I'm going to set this to global. And then I'm going to click on New to create a new profile, and then you can start adding effects. So you would click on Add Effect, you'd go to Unity, and I'm going to choose Bloom. That's going to give it the glow effect, and as you can see, Bloom is already here. I chose a threshold of 1. You can choose whatever you want. It depends how much you want to glow. How many objects do you want to be within the glow threshold? And then intensity, again, it's going to be subjective as to how much of a glow you want. And that's really it for the post-processing setup. Now, there's going to be one step additional for the material itself, but as far as actual post-processing, that's what you would need to do. So, second, you're going to have whatever shape you want. I just used the circle. Okay, and this is just drawn in an external paint program. Use whatever you want. There's nothing special about this circle. The only thing I need to call out is that the background is meant to be translucent. So this should be a clear background, and most paint programs support that. So this is a 2D image that was dragged and dropped into the asset area. You then are going to make a material based on that 2D image. So we click on, well, you would right click, create material. That's how you get here. And then you do a couple of things. We want this to be rendering mode cutout. And then we're going to take our 2D image, drag it on albedo. For emission, you're going to check that so that enables it. And then you're going to take the 2D image again and drop it here for color. And then you're going to choose a layer of intensity. And again, this is subjective. All depends how much of a glow you want. And I believe that should be all that we have to do for the material. All right, so the rest of the tutorial is really just the particle system itself. So game object, effects, particle system, and I might make a couple mistakes when I'm doing that. Please bear with me because when it comes to making a particle system, it's really a lot like sculpting. That you have this shape, although in this case it's animated because the particles are moving. You have this shape and you're trying to sculpt it is basically what you're doing, and you're sculpting it over time. So it's not an exact science. And we'll just call this FW for fireworks. Doesn't matter. Okay, so anywhere to start is fine because there's a lot of things we have to change. So for shape, we're going to make this a sphere because it's fireworks, okay? We need to shrink the radius. So we're going to change that to 0.1 because when you think about it, A fireworks is very small, and all these sparks are coming out from that very small firework that is shot up into the air. Okay, what else do we want? Well, for start lifetime, by default, this looks for a constant. You can actually put in a range. So if you click on this little drop down arrow, you can choose random between two constants, and you can do 0.5 and say 1.5. Doesn't look like much of anything because of the short time and because of the low emission rate, but like I said, we'll get to it a little bit at a time. Let's see. All right, so might as well do emission now. We'll bump that up to say 400. And okay, so let's change limit velocity over lifetime. So when you think about it, that it starts off explosively fast, but then slows down within like milliseconds, and that all the particles kind of hang in the air. Okay. So what you'd want to do is you're going to limit lifetime, limit velocity over lifetime, and so for drag, let's do a drag of 1. Okay, so now let's actually move its position. It's not in a good position. Okay. So clearly we have some issues. While it's a nice effect, it doesn't look like fireworks. So let's go ahead and shrink the size of the start size. So start size, let's make it like 0.1. And this 2, you can see, you could choose a range, but that's okay. Since it's a circle, I don't think you'd really notice much of a difference. Okay. Now, if this still looks wrong, it's because we now have to change a few settings. So, well, settings that we didn't want in the first place. So get rid of looping. Okay, so now we have to test it each time. So play. All right, so still no good because of duration. We want a very, very short duration because, again, this is like a burst. So like 0.2, maybe even less. Okay, so getting there, probably start speed is too much. Let's try reducing that to say 3. And let's go back and let's add a little dampening. So let's make this like 0.3. And let's add some more drag as well. Because we really want it to like slow down and then hang. Let's actually increase emission a bit. Okay, and just a few more tweaks. Let's make this, say, a 5 drag and like a 0.4 dampen. Let's just do an extreme. Okay. We take that off, you can watch the difference. See how it keeps going. So it might not look like we're making much of a difference, but it does. Okay. And then we want gravity to take effect. So in the main section up here, gravity modifier, let's make it just like 0.2. 0.1. So I thought it dropped a little bit too quickly. Okay. Reduce the drag. Okay. Let's see how that looks at the camera. All right. So let's put that up. Move that towards the camera. And we'll do that again. Okay, so the only thing it's missing is the glow. So we need to set the layer to PPL. And still not glowing. Let me just double check my settings and I'll be right back. Okay, I made a very obvious mistake. So I created the material, I simply did not apply it. I even thought about that when we first made it. So it doesn't do much good to make a material if you don't actually utilize it. So let's take the glow material, put it there. And also I set the layer to PPL for the fireworks. There we go. Now we've got a nice glow. And so there you go. You have a nice little firework. Again, it's not perfect. There's certainly other things you're going to want to do, like have different colors and things like that. But this really gives you the basics to give you that variance. And there's a few things you can still change. Like you could have the size change over time because right now it just kind of disappears. So you could do, say, size of a lifetime and have it start at full size, and then we'll just add a key there, and then have it like uh, basically burn out by becoming much smaller. It's subtle, but you definitely see it shrinking. And one of the problems with this is probably the actual lifetime that we would want this to possibly last a little bit longer. And start size might still be a little bit too big. It looks a little bit bulky. Okay. And then you can just say copy, paste, and we'll just do another paste. And then we'll do, let's see if all three of those show up in the camera. Yep. All right, so what we'll now do is we'll just duplicate. And yes, there's a way to affect the color through script, but this is meant to just be a simple fireworks display. And what you could do is you can attach a script to this and then modify the various particle system settings. Not going to go that route though. So let's just make a couple more glow mats, and then what we'll do is like the HDR color, maybe we'll make this one like pinkish. And then we'll apply it to that one. And then we'll take this one and we'll make it maybe orangish. And apply it to that one. There we go. Okay, so I hope that you found this useful. And if you're in a part of the world that celebrates July 4th, please enjoy your holiday. And that should be about it. So please enjoy the rest of your day.